And we are rotating around Meerut, Old Delhi, Hastinapur, that area we are roaming around. That is where Hastinapur, Indraprastha, Kurukshetra was there. Haryana was the Kurukshetra, current name. So what is the purpose of doing this? Dharmartha kama mokshanam upadesham samanvitam purva kathayuktam itihasam prachakshate. So why we are reflecting on Mahabharat? Because it is a text which gives us four purusharthas through stories of how it happened in the past. So we have to know the correct story also. That is also one of the purpose of reflecting on Mahabharat, not only dependent on the serial what was shown to us. Because in serial when they show it, there is a lot of dramatization, lot of dialogues are put which are actually not the dialogues. So let us prepare ourselves by invoking Ved Vyasji that he gives us some drushti to go back and feel what happened during that time and learn from our itihas. Because itihas should be repeated, itihas should not be repeated also. If right things are there, it should be repeated. Whatever wrong things have happened, itihas should not be repeated. So let us sit straight, take a deep breath, head, neck, backbone straight. This is a position where the energy flow is maximum. We can access a lot of things when we keep our body still and straight. We withdraw our mind from the world happening, body feelings and sensations to the mind. All that has happened in the past is gone, only keeping the learnings with us. Same thing as we read Mahabharat and Ramayana. There is one story part, but there is a learning part also. In the same way, our own life also, there is a story part and there is a learning part. Let us learn from our past. Let us withdraw our mind from all future anxieties, worries, present confusions and tensions. If I have a problem, what to do right now in this situation, it is lack of knowledge, lack of understanding of the situation. A still body, cheerful mind, clear intellect is the best instrument for a spiritual sadhak, for all kinds of sadhanas, Shravan, Manan, Nitidhyasanam, all three. Let us invoke Lord's grace, Guru Parampara's blessing, especially for this text, Ved Vyasji's blessings, and invoke some Divya Drushti so we can feel the characters. We can actually understand what they went through. Because still some people ask, I have discussed this question with many people, that why Krishna actually chose war. When we actually understand Mahabharat, we realize that there was no other choice. So much of insult, so much of humiliation, so much of cheating, so much of unfairness, but still a lot of patience and tolerance was shown. So let us chant loudly and invoke grace together. Om. 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 सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम्। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। श्रीवेदव्यासाय नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। हरि ओम।
Hari Om Manisha, thank you. So we are reflecting on the Mahabharat, which is a itihas. This is how it happened. And we will go to Indraprastha, which is current around Delhi. Indraprastha was established near Yamuna River. Hastinapur was near Ganga River. So with lot of hard work, toil, intelligence, devotion, Pandavas built, transformed the Khandav Prastha, which is a barren land. Nothing grows there, into Indraprastha, one of the best cities in the world, not only in the world, but in the three lokas. Danav, Maya helped him, Indra Bhagwan helped him, and it has been said that the assembly of Indraprastha, the palace, the assembly was so beautiful, so grand, that not only Bharatvarsha, but entities across lokas used to visit there. Deva Devatas, Gandharvas, Yakshas used to visit. Sages, Rishis used to visit Indraprastha to see the assembly hall. As we go to Canada, people say, you go to Canada, have you seen Niagara Falls? Oh, you went to Agra, you saw the Taj Mahal. In the same way, in Bharat Varsha, world over, all locus entities started visiting, and just 40 kilometers away, Hastinapur, nobody was visiting. So you can see what is a power play jealousy happening in Duryodhana and team. Like, some big entity comes to your neighbor and that entity doesn't come to your place, and both are first cousins. One day Narad Muni comes. Narad Muni, people have different opinion about Narad Muni because what is shown on the TV. Narad Muni is the guru of Ratnakar Valmiki. Narad Muni is the guru of Prahlad. Narad Muni is the guru of Dhruva. And he has got one Vardhan from Bhagwan that he can do Mukta Sanchar in all four yugas. Anywhere, anytime he can go. No restriction, no one can object. So we know that Narad Muni was there in Treta Yuga when Ramayana happened. So here also in Indraprastha, Narad Muni comes. Yudhishthir becomes so happy. And Yudhishthir requests that please guide. This is the new empire, Indraprastha. Now, as we discussed earlier, Mahabharat, people have another myth that Mahabharat should not be read. Actually, Mahabharat, there are 5 very big discourses called as Dharma discourses. Bhagavad Gita is one of them. Vishnu Sahasranam is there. Vidura Niti is there. One of the biggest one is the Bhishma Yudhishthir dialogue. And now Narad Muni's discussion is there. I personally have a personal liking towards this. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is there where we have, reflected for many years. The speciality of Narad Muni's dialogue with Yudhishthir is his way of advising is not the normal way. It is questioning to Yudhishthir. I personally like questioning rather than advising. This is an invitation to all senior citizens who are above 40 that we must stop advising, we must start asking questions to children, to colleagues. And unfortunately, today our corporate leaders, our political leaders, family leaders, some people who are living in a family, they think, no, I am not a leader. I must ask myself whether I am living in a family or leading a family. I am also a leader. No, I am just living in a family. No, I am leading a family. This dialogues of Narad Muni, Vidura Niti, Bhishma must be read. If even one political leader reads this, corporate leader lead this, it will be Ram Rajya, it will be success, prosperity. So Narad Muni asks several questions to Yudhishthir. I am just giving a gist of that. The topics covered by Narad Muni are governance, administration, welfare of people, economy, security, defense, justice, personal discipline, diplomacy, alliances, intelligence and information systems. Today only we are thinking of spies and information systems, etc. That time itself, we were having all these kind of things. So Narad Muni asks many questions, out of them just a gist for our understanding, because it will take couple of sessions to take Narad Muni's Dharma discourse. It will take at least 10 sessions for Bhishma's discourse. It will at least take 5 to 7 sessions on Vidura Niti. Do you always act according to Dharma? Narad Muni asks Yudhishthir. And through Yudhishthir us, are your decisions free of greed, free from greed, anger and attachment? Very powerful questions. Because finally, a king or a leader has to take decision. It should not be based on greed, anger, and attachment. Do you protect righteousness even under pressure? Normally, people are good, but under pressure, they become bad or cunning. Do you appoint competent and trustworthy ministers? Very, very important for corporate leaders and ministers. My mama, my nephew must become next leader or next minister. And how will you check competence? So there is a system for it. Are your advisors wise, loyal, and not corrupt? Very important. Those who are advising me, and now we understand why Duryodhan's Rajya was adharmic. Because all these things were not followed. People in Hastinapur used to be scared of going for justice to Duryodhan because his team was Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni. What nyaya they will get? Do you consult them before taking major decisions? Do you consult your ministers or they are only for namesake? Today, one of the challenge Indian political system has or corporate has is that second line is not developed. Before I retire, those who are working for Chinmay Mission also in some post, before I say I want to resign, I must have a second line ready. Is your treasury filled with just means? Very important. What is the source of my income? Is it black money? Is it some smuggling money or what is the source? Are taxes collected fairly without burdening people? Our finance minister must read all these Narad Muni and Bhishma dialogues of Yudhishthir. Otherwise, people are burdened. Indirect taxes, direct taxes, and all this tax money government is taking and not even giving us clean roads, clean air, clean water. That is government job. Even one biscuit of 4 rupees we take, we are paying taxes to government, indirect taxes. Do you ensure prosperity in agriculture, trade and economy? Till today also 60% India is based on agriculture. Are your citizens happy and protected? Very important one. Suppose we go to Duryodhan's territory or in a corporate. Today also happiness survey should be done. Are your people who are working under you are happy and well protected? No. Actually, I am more scared of my boss only. Do you listen to their grievances regularly? Are the weak, poor and vulnerable cared for? Whenever there is might exploits the meek, it is called as adharma. Very powerful statement. When the might exploits the meek, that is adharma. A person cannot do, praja cannot do because they don't have power and then the king exploits. Do you maintain good relations with neighboring kingdom? Do you use neighboring kingdom means you might say, no, I am not a king. Do you have good relations with your neighbors? Otherwise, there are some people, nobody talks to them in the society. They are not part of society meeting. They are only taking advantage of the society water, meter, light. They are not providing anything to the society also. No. I pay maintenance bill on time. That everybody pays. Do you have a strong spy network? Narad Muni asks. A king must have spy network. Do you divide your time wisely among duties? Family duties. Today, major problem in the corporate life topic, what we are called for is work-life balance. That time is asking, do you divide your time? This is family time, this is children time, this is entertainment time, this is office time. Whether there are some people who go to office and think of family, then they come to family and discuss office. Do you control your senses? Do you avoid excessive indulgence in pleasure? Because kings have this habit. Do you maintain a disciplined daily routine? What time you get up? You are a king. Do you balance dharma, artha, kama properly? These are some of them. Actually, there should be another separate session on these discourses only called as Dharma discourses of Mahabharat. Very powerful one. We will see some more in Bhishma Yudhishthir dialogue. That is a huge one. So Kauravas also are jealous. They have not yet visited Indraprastha. So one day Kauravas tell Pandavas that we want to come and visit. So Kauravas come, all the Kauravas come, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, everyone comes. And they see the power, they see the prosperity, they see the righteousness, they see the purity, they see the love. All go back, more jealous of their glories and power. Duryodhan stays back. Now we have to listen carefully because one major myth is destroyed. Duryodhan stays back, and this palace of illusion is built by Maya Danav. So sometimes when we are walking, we think it is glass, it is water. Sometimes we think it is water, it is glass. So one day after breakfast, Duryodhan is he himself is walking, feeling very jealous inside. Such a beautiful one. I had Hastinapur, I couldn't make like this. And he's looking here and there and then falls and thinks it is a glass and falls in a water pool. A very important point. People who are around, who are cleaning, who are on the first floor, second floor, there are around 20, 30 sevaks, they laugh at Duryodhan. Draupadi is not in the scene at all here. Because this question is asked many times that why Mahabharat happened. Many of the youngsters who have never read Mahabharat, they will say it happened because of Draupadi. How? Because she told Duryodhan, Andhe ka putra andha. This dialogue is not there only in Gita Press Mahabharat's critical edition only. So, Andhe ka putra andha is not said by Draupadi. Draupadi is not even on the scene when Duryodhan falls in water, which is shown in the B.R. Chopra serial. And that scene is very highlighted. And then people say this is why Mahabharat happened, because she should not have insulted. And that's the reason Duryodhan took Badla. No, nothing happened like that. So Duryodhan burns with fire, comes back immediately to Hastinapur, calls Karna, Shakuni, Dushasan, all his chamchas, and then discuss what is to be done. There are many, many times when the discussions happen in Hastinapur with Duryodhan, Shakuni, Karna will always come out with only one solution: let us fight. Let us have a war. Every time Karna will say, let us have a war. Because somewhere he wants to get a duel with Arjun and defeat him and show that he is more powerful than Arjun. It is rejected by all the Kauravas, saying now with Draupadi on their side, Drupada with them, with Pandavas, they are very, very mighty. And he has already done Rajasuya Yajna. He is an emperor now. Lot of kings will support him. Even in between Krishna, Bhim and Arjun goes and kills Jarasandha. Jarasandha has captured 84 kings. We know the famous fight between Bhima and Jarasandha where they both are equal, where finally Krishna takes a stick and breaks on his thigh and then throws away different directions. That is what Bhima does. So 84 kings are also supporting. So Kaurava says that is not the solution. So then what is to be done? Shakuni comes with the idea that we can't defeat them in the war. We have to use some cheating method, cunning method, unfair method. And I have got a trick which nobody can beat. I am the best. And that is dice. Let's call Yudhishthir for a game of dice. Karna objects. He says, no, I don't believe, because Karna is a warrior. Finally, they take a decision of calling Yudhishthir, but the main hurdle is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra actually is the king. He should call. Somehow they convince Dhritarashtra. Now we have to make a note here that Dhritarashtra is also party to it. Vidurji objects. No, this is unfair. You can't call them because we all know Shakuni will win. because on behalf of Dhritarashtra, Shakuni is going to play. Dhritarashtra also is the main root of Mahabharat. He invites Yudhishthir and sends Vidur because he also has a doubt if somebody else goes, Yudhishthir will not come. In that dialogue, there are 4 weaknesses of kings are mentioned. In Bhishma dialogue with Yudhishthir, 16 are mentioned, that we will see. King's weaknesses are women, wine, gambling, and hunting. 4 are mentioned. Women, wine, gambling, and hunting. These are king's weaknesses. And as per the norms, if a king invites another king for a duel, for war, or for a dice game, the other king cannot refuse as per dharma. So embodiment of dharma, Yudhishthir falls to this temptation. Yudhishthir comes for a game of dice. Of course, on behalf of Dhritarashtra, Shakuni is playing. Shakuni has a boon of dice. Now we have also seen that story that is all a myth, that Shakuni's dice is made of all the bones of his brothers, and I know his brothers and father fought in the war. Their names are there. But he has got some kind of expertise. Today, Sachin Tendulkar is a gifted person in cricket. Born out of love for cricket, he has some that extra. Same thing Shakuni has. And Yudhishthir loses, starts losing one by one. First, he puts ornaments, lost. Utensils, lost. Cattle, lost. Wealth, lost. Cows, lost. All horses, elephants, lost. Kingdom, Indraprastha, lost. Then he puts brothers. Brothers also lost. And then he puts himself. He loses himself. Vidura asked Dhritarashtra to stop the game. It is going beyond the limit. But Dhritarashtra is elated with Duryodhan's success because now everything is in their hand. Shakuni instigates before Dhritarashtra stops the game that there is one thing more Yudhishthir has, which he has not put on stake, and that is Draupadi. Vidura objects, Yudhishthir should have stopped there, but he bets on her and loses her. Duryodhana is elated. Immediately he says that call Draupadi, now she is my slave. I will make her sit on my thighs. And this is the darkest phase of Bharat Moksha. Maybe all the ancestors from the Pitrilog who are watching of Kuru, Puru dynasty, great kings, they would have felt ashamed what Duryodhana and team did. So Duryodhana sends the sevaks, one sevak to call Draupadi. She is in inner chamber having periods. Draupadi is very, very smart, very intelligent, we know. When the sevak comes, he understands the entire situation. She asks that please go and ask the assembly where Bhishma, Vidur, Dronacharya, Dhritarashtra, Krupacharya are sitting, that whether Yudhishthir lost himself first or me first. If Yudhishthir has lost himself first, then he has no right to put me on the bet, because he has lost himself first. So the sevak comes and asks, no one answers. Such difficult questions she has thought over. Bhishma gives some vague answer that we can ask Yudhishthir, who is a Dharmaraj. He knows all the laws, but Yudhishthir now has become a slave. And then Duryodhan, out of his arrogance, lust, all bad qualities together, tells Dushasan that drag her down in the assembly. This is the darkest period of Kuru Vansh. So Draupadi, who is menstruating, women, queen of Indraprastha, daughter-in-law of Hastinapur, daughter of Panchal, Drupada, who are very, very powerful, is dragged through her hair from her chamber to the assembly hall. Karna calls her prostitute. Now she belongs to all of us. And then Duryodhan, on Karna's prodding, Karna is the main villain. Shakuni is not the main villain in compared to Karna. Karna says, let us disrobe her. On prodding of Karna. Duryodhan tells Dushasan to disrobe her. Bhishma gets up, sorry, Bhima gets up and makes a vow that I will tear open the heart of chest of Dushasan and drink blood. The jackal starts howling, lot of commotion happens, lot of noise happens because the news reaches entire Hastinapur. Mighty warriors are looking on. Bhishma, Drona, Yudhishthir, Krupacharya, Dhritarashtra are all keeping quiet. This is the blackest episode noted in the entire Bharat Moksha. Great lineage of Bharat, what we are learning. This is the darkest. When the commotion happens, Gandhari, who is inside, who is not aware of what is happening inside, asked what happened. She's told this is what is happening in assembly. She immediately shouts on Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan and tells Dhritarashtra that if a woman is insulted, Kurus, this will bring destruction of Kuru Vansha. She fires Duryodhan that this is what you are doing is adharma and you are bringing the entire Kuru Vansha down to shame. Draupadi invokes divine intervention by calling Hari. And Dushasana is unsuccessful in the attempt in disrobing Draupadi. So there are 2 points we have to note here. One myth again is destroyed about Draupadi, that Draupadi does not ask for Dushasan's blood to wash her hair. This is another some dramatic. It is Bhishma Pratijna. And second, in both Gita Press and Critical Edition, where they have collected 330 versions of Mahabharata and studied, it is not mentioned that Krishna is providing lot of vastra after vastra and Dushasan becomes tired. Dushasan actually loses his power because of Bhishma Pratijna and divine intervention of Krishna. Because this episode is not discussed anywhere later on in Mahabharata when discussions happen. The only thing what has been discussed in Mahabharata is how Draupadi was dragged from her chamber and she was humiliated, insulted, and she was called a lot of things by Duryodhana and team. Draupadi saves the day for Pandavas. Draupadi again gets up and asks the assembly the same question. Duryodhana becomes very angry and say, ask your husbands if they are my slaves. If they say that, you were bet later on, then I will let you go. He feels that Yudhishthir will not speak. So Yudhishthir doesn't speak because of guilt. Arjun gets up. He says, this is the best time to speak. He gets up and says, Yudhishthir actually lost himself first. So he has no right to put Draupadi on stake. By the time Dhritarashtra has been bombarded by Gandhari, he becomes scared by Gandhari's words because he knows Gandhari's tapasya, he knows Gandhari speaks the truth. He calls Draupadi because Gandhari tells him one thing, that immediately pacify Draupadi. If Draupadi is not pacified, Kuru Vansha destruction is going to happen. So he calls for Draupadi and says, I am giving you 2 boons, please ask. I admire your courage I'm giving you two boons. Now Draupadi very interestingly would have asked for Hastinapur and Indraprastha only. But that is Draupadi's greatness. Draupadi says, with my first boon, I want Yudhishthir to be freed from the slavery with his weapons, she says. And with second boon, I want all other four husbands to be freed along with their weapons. Along with their weapons, she says. Dhritarashtra is so pleased with his daughter-in-law Draupadi that she is not asked for Hastinapur. She is not asked that Duryodhan should be sent for Vanvas. She is not asked that Duryodhan, Shakuni, Karna, Dushasana and all Kauravas should be sent for Vanvas. She could have asked. Dhritarashtra says, I am so pleased with you, please ask for the third boon. This is where Draupadi comes out as Draupadi. She is not an ordinary woman. She says, now that my husbands are free with their weapons, Dhritarashtra asks, do you have any other desire to be fulfilled? I will fulfill it. Please ask third boon. She says, now as my husbands are free with their weapons, all five of them, I have no desire left. And then she uses one very, very powerful statement. Greed destroys virtues. In that assembly, she's been humiliated, she's been disrobed, she's been dragged, but her presence of mind is there. She says, my husband will fulfill all my wishes. I don't want anyone else to fulfill all my wishes. My husbands with weapons in their hand can fulfill any wish of mine. Everyone admires Draupadi. Draupadi saves Pandavas. Duryodhan is boiling again that what he has got in the last half an hour is lost. Duryodhan is feeling that Yudhishthir and Pandavas are free now because inside there is insecurity that they can attack. So he calls for one more game of dice. See, the second time game of dice happens. What a tragedy. Yudhishthir agrees. But this time the norm is that one who loses will go for 12-year Vanvas, 1 year of Ajñatvas. Yudhishthir agrees. And then definitely we all know when Shakuni is playing on behalf of Dhritarashtra, he loses. And when he loses again for 12-year Vanvas, what is the mistake of Pandavas? First twice Bhima was tried to be poisoned by Duryodhan, it failed. Then all 5 were sent, 6 were sent to Lakshagriha to burn alive. Again called here, building Indraprastha. Again cheating with dice. Again Dhyuta. Again 12 varsh ka Vanvas and 1 varsh ka Ajñatvas. And still people who are Hindus, they ask, no, Krishna should not have asked for war, You try to go through some unfair treatment and insult and see what happens. Bhima is burning with anger. Bhima gets up and tells Sahadev, get fire. I want to burn Yudhishthir's hand. I want to burn Yudhishthir's hand. Draupadi always went to Bhima when she was in trouble. Why? Because these hands have, has put Draupadi on stake, not us. We are okay with us. Arjun cools him down and all the 5 Pandavas walk out of Hastinapur insulted, humiliated, Draupadi disrobed, and they vow take a pledge that we will kill Duryodhan, Shakuni, Dushasana and Karna. And 13 years of their forest life begins. 12 years of Vanvas. There Sri Ram had 14 years. Here Pandavas had 13 years. So now we will just go year by year to understand their mental state. When they walk out, Draupadi is burning from inside, sad, mixed feeling for her. Her five husbands, most powerful one, are standing. Bhishma standing, no one came forward to save her. So after reaching forest, after having dinner, her pain, her suffering, her crying, her anger comes out, and she challenges Yudhishthir that where was your dharma when I was insulted? Please tell me. What does dharma send when a woman is insulted? Is excessive forgiveness is dharma or weakness? You constantly forgive everybody. When to forgive, when to fight, we should know. Then she asked Yudhishthir, should injustice be tolerated in the name of dharma? And this way she keeps alive the goal of getting back to Indraprastha, because we will see later on that last minute also Yudhishthir says we want peace. So this way they are all sad, angry, insulted, humiliated, spending day in forest. It's not easy. Staying in a forest, people have to really go and stay in a forest for a few days and see what happens staying in a forest. When they had such a large empire of Indraprastha, now this six of them are staying in forest. Krishna and Satyabhama visits Pandavas in Vanvas, first year itself. Krishna and Satyabhama come from Dwarka when they come to know this. This is the first meeting of Krishna and Pandavas. When Krishna and Draupadi and Pandavas meet, Draupadi breaks down. She starts crying, pours out her pain, anger, frustration, humiliation to Krishna, and Krishna assures her there is a dialogue that those who insulted you will face destruction. When she hears that, she little bit calms down. Now, very interesting dialogue is coming, which is not very famous, but very, very powerful one. In some of the Puranas, it has been mentioned that Krishna fires her for calling her late, for, when the robes are getting disrobed. All these dialogues are not there in Gita Press or edition. Those are Puranic dialogues. Bhagavad dialogues where Krishna is the Lord depicted. Krishna fires Yudhishthir, Arjun. Those dialogues are not there in Gita Press edition. Satyabhama takes Draupadi inside as Krishna and Pandava start discussing about war, weapons, strategies. Satyabhama, and as we also see, when the families meet, the women will go in kitchen, and then men will start discussing politics and Trump, what Trump should do and what Putin should do, and then women will go inside. So that way Satyabhama and Draupadi starts talking. Satyabhama to ensure that she comes out of her state, teasingly asks her that how do you manage and maintain harmony with these five powerful husbands of yours? How do you rule their heart? I am finding it difficult to have Krishna alone with me because Krishna has other wives also. When I look at your husband, I can see so much of love in their eyes for you, everyone. They are always ready to do whatever you want. And then she concludes asking, saying that, do you have any Vashikaran mantra? Do you have any Vashikaran mantra? Means, do you have any mantra where you can influence their mind and they will listen to you? They will always dote on you. Now, this is very important. This is very interesting dialogue between Draupadi and Satyabhama. Draupadi's response is, no, Satyabhamas, there is no magic, no mantra, no manipulation, no control tactics. What you said is right, that each one is doting on me, each one is just looking at me with the same love, they are ready to do anything for me. But the secret is seva, respect, discipline, absence of ego, character, and conduct. 6 things she mentions: seva, respect, absence of ego, character, and conduct. This is how I rule my husband's hearts. So Satyabhama says, can you tell me more? Because I am keen, because Krishna also has many wives and I want to have entire attention of Krishna on me. So now very interesting point about Draupadi. She says, and that's the reason Draupadi is so great. And Draupadi is Draupadi. She says, number one, 1, 2, 3, 4, that in Indraprastha, they ruled for 36 years, first of all. Indraprastha, we know that every day celestial guests come from any loka, people used to come. So Draupadi says that I wake up first and sleep the last in Indraprastha. Every day there are 8,000 Brahmins and 88,000 graduate students are fed. In Indraprastha, there are about 1 lakh support staff I have who work for me. Very important point, I know each one's name and their family background. Each support staff. Today we don't know who is a lady who comes to pick up garbage in our house every day. We don't know her name also. We just give garbage and take it inside. Draupadi knew 1 lakh people's name. She says, I get up first and sleep last. And she says that I eat the last after ensuring food to everyone, even to my support staff. Then in the last, because I do not want that anyone is not fed in Indraprastha. I do not allow ego to come in between my relationships with anyone. I have a mother-in-law and many wives of Pandavas were there who used to come and go. They used to stay there. As in Valmiki Ramayana, not much is mentioned about Bharat's wife, Lakshman's wife, Shatrughan's wife. Here also, Pandavas were having wives when they were in Indraprastha. They used to go to their different places and come and stay in Indraprastha. So she says that I ensure, very important dialogue, comfort, convenience and joy to my mother-in-law and all wives, other wives of Pandavas. I ensure, because I am the queen here. I am aware from morning to evening about who is doing. Even though I am sitting at one place, though I do not, I know who is doing what in the entire Indraprastha. Whenever Yudhishthir is having yajna or traveling, I manage all his elephants, horses, who will sit where, who will stand here, what kind of clothes to be worn on the elephants and horses, what are the ingredients to be ready for the yajna, which animals, which weapons, whether the weapons are sharpened, security guards who will be there when he's traveling, and I manage all personal details, so they love me. Not just on my beauty, on intelligence. Next, she says that Indraprastha is a very huge kingdom. Other than me, no one knows. I keep all expenditure and expenses to the core. Only I know what is coming inside and going outside. No one has clarity about the accounts and treasury as I have. So they all come to me. Not that just I am beautiful and wife of 5, so they are doting on me. This is what I do in Indraprastha. O Satyabhama, hard work and devotion are the keys to keep them interested in me. This is how they rule. They are not just like that the Pandavas are attracted towards Draupadi because she is the queen. She managed Indraprastha. And there is a dialogue of Yudhishthir in this context. He says once that Draupadi is the kind of spouse every man desires for a fruitful and rewarding life. Because then we know that who is the boss in Indraprastha, who is. So Draupadi is managing all show there. Not that Pandavas are not doing anything. Pandavas are extremely busy in war, yajna, gas, dharma discourse, nyaya, justice. So that is Draupadi for us. This Satyabhama Draupadi dialogue, I do not know whether it was shown in such great detail in the serial, so not known to many people. So this way 1 year passes. Second year, lot of sages and rishis starts coming to Vanvas just to keep them motivated, because Pandavas are getting depressed. And they can fight, they can destroy Kauravas anytime. So Markandeya Rishi comes. Draupadi is the most, emotional, not yet completely at the balance of what she went through. So Markandeya Rishi shares lot of stories about Ramayana time to motivate Pandavas and Draupadi. And he shares one very famous story, Itihas of Savitri and Satyavan. We all know, but just worth repeating because long time we may not have heard this story. So Markandeya Rishi tells about Savitri and Satyavan, that once there was Ashwapati and Madra. They had King Ashwapati, they had no children. They prayed for Savitri Devi, and a girl was born, and her name they gave as Savitri only. She was extraordinary, beautiful and radiant. And because she was extraordinary, radiant and beautiful, there were no men who were coming for marrying her because they were feeling inferior. This happens to many women who are extraordinary, beautiful, intelligent, prosperous, rich, that men feel inferior before them. So her father and rishis told them, you have to find your own match now. Go out and find out your own match. So her father, she and couple of ministers starts going out. She visits many, many, many kingdoms and places. Finally, in one forest, she finds one young man serving his blind father, who was actually the king, was but deported to a forest. His name was Satyavan. She says, I will marry him. Naradji comes and tells her father and her that Satyavan is the best man on this planet, but what? He has only 1 year of life left. Savitri agrees. That is one greatness of Savitri. I have chosen one. Once chosen, I do not choose again, she says. Once chosen, I do not choose again. So Savitri agrees, Eka Pativrata Dharma. This is to motivate Draupadi and all. She marries, 1 year starts coming closer. Last day, when she knows that today it is going to happen, she says, Satyavan, I will come to forest where you are going to work. She goes with Satyavan. Satyavan is working. Suddenly he starts feeling weakness in his head twirling. She's okay, I will sit, you sleep on my lap. But she is so intelligent, so wise, so pure, that when Yamraj comes, most of us do not see Yamraj, but she can see. She requests Yamraj that please do not take him. He says, I cannot do that. Then she starts following him. When Yamraj picks up Satyavan's soul, and she starts engaging Yamraj with discourse on dharma, bhakti, devotion, wisdom by sweet voice. Yamraj becomes so happy with her wisdom, sweetness, humility, that he tells her, okay, you can ask any boon from me without life of your husband. Then she is okay. My father-in-law gave him eyes, vision, and let him become the king. He's pleased. Okay, ask another boon. She says that, okay, let my father-in-law have 100 children and rule for 1,100 years. He says, okay. And in that, suddenly she asks, okay, I also have 100 children. And Yamaraj says, yes. And then he realizes intelligently she has asked 100 children for her. Now Yamaraj cannot go back on his words and he gives back Satyavan's life to her and says, I am very, very pleased with you. You are the only person who will be talked yuga after yuga that you got your husband back from the death, because no one can go back like this. So they are motivated by Markandeya's stories. One day when Pandavas are out for, collecting wood, Jayadratha comes. He sees Draupadi. Draupadi has gone through this many times. Because of her beauty, many men have been after her and she has gone through humiliation and insult. So Jayadratha lusts on her and abducts her, picks her up and is going. She refuses, puts her resistance, strongly rebukes him, but he doesn't listen. He's too powerful. Bhim and Arjun come at the right time, relieves Draupadi and brings Jayadratha, who is a captive, before Yudhishthir. As Yudhishthir is Dharmaraj, he says, I forgive you. But then Bhim wants to kill him. He says, no, shave his head off because he is related to us. He is husband of Duryodhan's sister. So his head is shaved off, humiliated, he is released. And the third, fourth year, Arjun goes for penance. Arjun says, I want to attain Pashupati Astra. Now we have to remember that all these 12 years they are planning for war. Arjun is thinking of war. They are preparing of war. They are collecting Astra Shastra for war. And the same Arjun when comes there and says, I don't want to fight. Now we understand what is the importance of Bhagavad Gita. When we see the kind of insight, when we see Arjun's preparation. So Arjun here goes to heaven. He does lot of penance and we will see later on what happens in heaven, because he gets a curse which actually becomes his boon. And his war with Shivji, it is called as Kirat. And then he gains the Pashupati Astra, which is the greatest, highest, because it can destroy the entire creation. With his tapasya, with his dedication, with his concentration, Shivji gives him that Astra. And then how he comes back and what happens in the further years when they are in the 12 years of Vanvas. That is what we are discussing. That we will see next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.